Hello people, today I'm doing a review for the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I really did enjoy the first Hitman's Bodyguard movie. I think it's kind of underrated. It has a lot of fun action, some really good comedy, some very good banter between Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. And overall, I think the first movie is pretty solid. I give the first movie a 6.5 out of 10. You can see my full review for it on Letterboxd. And so for this movie, I really wasn't expecting, of course, a improvement. I just expected to have a lot of fun with it. I know they were really amping up whoever, I'm sorry, I don't know this actress's name at the moment, but whoever plays Jackson's wife did a fantastic job in the first movie, and so they made her, like, basically, when you think about it, second or first lead of it. And so I had me concerned. I'm like, are they going to overplay her comedy when it to the point where it gets annoying, or is it going to be pretty funny? And I thought she was funny about 95% of the time. There's about those 5% of jokes that just didn't land or kind of was a little eye-rolling. But besides that, she was hysterical in the movie and definitely provided the best laugh. And yeah, I saw this in a packed theater, and it's because I got to see it early. Thanks Fandango. Or I don't know if it's just Fandango. I don't know if it's AMC or Regal or whatever. But yeah, so I saw this in a crowded theater, and it was so there's a reveal later in the movie, and if you've seen the poster, full spoilers, not spoiler, well, this is kind of a spoiler, but if you've seen the poster, it isn't. On the poster, I want to just say it, who is on the poster. On the poster, you see Morgan Freeman, and so when they do his reveal, I guess the theater didn't know that or have seen the poster because, oh my god, they were dying, and it just made me appreciate that a lot more, because if I hadn't seen the movie, I would have just been Morgan Freeman. But to see everyone else be so shocked that it's Morgan Freeman around me, it really did boost that, and did really make it the funniest scene of the movie. Especially, well, you'll see someone has a specific reaction to his reveal that really makes it a lot funnier. But yeah, once again, the banter is good as ever. Excuse me, I have a cold. The banter is good as ever with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. They really go well back and forth with each other. They can get a little repetitive sometimes, but whatever. I have a really bad cold. But anyways, the plot in particular this time around is not... Oh, the plot the first time wasn't as really strong in the first place, but this plot is awful. I'll just say that. The plot, the villain, and the motivations, and what they're trying to stop, and what they're doing, and how they do it is just as cliche as it gets. Everything you can see everything coming from a mile away. Like, I'm just gonna say this. They at the end of the third act, they capture the wife. It's that cliche. Antonio Banderas plays the villain, and just like Gary Oldman in the first movie, you would not give a crap if it wasn't those actors. But I'm not as familiar with Banderas as I am Oldman, so I at least... And plus, they made more of an effort for us to dislike the villain in the first movie. And another thing that the first movie did a lot better was the action sequences. The action sequences here are not bad. They're certainly above average, but this time around, it's just not nearly as pumped up or had that adrenaline feel that the first one had for me. Like I said, it's not bad here. It's just if you watch them back to back like I did, you definitely feel that gap between the first one and the second one, and when it comes to action. But when it comes to comedy, the first one is the second one is far funnier than the first one. So it's almost like they traded off, but at the same time, the comedy, it's like we had pretty decent comedy in the first one with some great action. This one, it's some great comedy with some pretty decent action. So it's like, take what you can give, and like the plot here is just really awful. I'm not gonna get into it, but it has to do with computers and super virus, and you've heard it a million times before. And if this really had to be judged by the critic inside of me to score this is honestly like a 3 when it comes to like critically, and it really is not a good movie. But I really can't say that. These movies are definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I do enjoy them. Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds definitely gonna give them up. And my enjoyment of the movie is probably like around a 7.5 when it comes to the enjoyment standpoint. So I really find myself in like where do I score it? Where do I score it? Because I guess I'll go in the middle, but the middle isn't exactly what I want either. So I really did have a hard time thinking out exactly what score. But I'll just give my overall thoughts real quick before I give the score. It depends on how you feel about the first one. If you don't like the first one, you're not gonna like this. If you like the first one, like I did, you'll probably enjoy this, but it depends on what you want more of. Did you like the first one because you like the action, or did you like the first one because you like the comedy? I lean a little bit more towards really middle of the road, is mostly because of the actors. But from the action standpoint, I was a tad disappointed, but it's still another thing that the second one did better was I was always intrigued from beginning to end. I was invested in every single scene. No, not necessarily invested. I just never got bored with the sequel. The first one, on the other hand, I got a little tuned out at moments, and so it's just weighing out which one. I was trying to battle in my head which one is better, which one's not, which one's the same, and then I just came to the conclusion I like them both just as much because each one has their own problems. The first one's a little bit slower in the first hour with a great second hour, and this movie is just continuously fun. So yeah, they both have their big issues. So I'm just gonna give them the same exact score. So like I said, I give the first one a 6.5 out of 10, and this movie is going to get a 6.5 out of 10. If you enjoy these type of movies, Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds, and comedy, this movie is right up your alley. It was really a lot of fun. And I don't expect this. I don't know if the Rotten Tomatoes score is out for this yet, but I do not expect this to get like an 80. I'm expecting this be down in the low 20s, but it's really a guilty pleasure of mine, these movies. So yeah. Anyways, that's my review for The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and I will admit that is a terrible title, but I just rolled with it. So yeah. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.